There are many, many forms of humiliation. There's many ways to humiliate other people, and there are ways that we humiliate ourselves. And I'm going to talk about one particular rather profound form of humiliation. And I'm going to I'm going to tell a little story so that you have a word picture that hopefully will stick. And it's can kind of help you recognize when this is going on that it's a nasty situation. So when I was in my 20s, I worked in a primate lab. So it was a place with monkeys, and I helped raise a pair of monkeys and engaged in, that research, Harlow's monkeys. Yeah. At any rate, when you're around primates, one of the things you'll realize pretty quickly, how people say how smart they are and how we're evolved from them and how much they're like us, and people make all those distinctions based on their intelligence. But when I was around monkeys, what I noticed was were their behaviors. So primates do this thing where they take their own poop and they throw at each other, and they'll throw it at you, and it's just like they weaponize their own feces. And one of the worst forms of humiliation I've seen is when someone's been scapegoated, and they just it's almost like they're buried under other people's poop. And the people, people around them just don't want to deal with their own stuff. They just want to pass it off onto someone else. And it's, that particular individual gets buried alive. Um, so with this word picture, I say this because don't participate in that activity. Don't jump in and attack another human being. Just don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, definitely don't do it to yourself. But when people are throwing poop in your direction and it's theirs, you want to dodge it. You don't catch it. It's not a football, all right? You want to avoid that stuff. So this is just my preface to the next story. And hopefully you'll know what to do when someone is targeting you with their poop. Got it? All right, June 9th. When my study of the steps reached step 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings, I stumbled over the very first word. Humble, I thought. The last thing I need is to be more humble. Hadn't I been humble all my life, putting everyone's needs ahead of my own? What had it ever brought me except abuse? But Al-Anon suggested that perhaps I had confused humility with humiliation. Humility does not mean begging for mercy. Real humility, I discovered, is the ability to see my true relationship to God and to my fellow human beings. The second word wasn't much easier. I had learned not to ask anyone for anything. Al-Anon showed that my knowledge and experience are limited. I didn't know all the answers, and I don't have to know them. I can ask for help. My concept of the last word has also changed. I used to think of shortcomings as crimes, faults, sins, or mistakes. Now I think of them as blocks within me that prevent me from reaching my full potential and distance me from my higher power. Today's reminder: there are many things that I can do to improve my life and to further my recovery, but I cannot heal myself. Today, I can ask for help in becoming free of all that blocks me from my true self. And here's the quote: if my problems have brought me to prayer, then they have served a purpose. I read something earlier this morning that said, a correct idea about ourselves and God has been the basis for stupendous human flourishing. I pray each one of you gets out there and flourishes. Blessings on your day.